Hello and welcome to Ham Nation. This is episode 491 for March 31st, 2021. Thanks again for coming out. And hello, everybody. I'm Josh, KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for coming out to Ham Nation. We really do appreciate it here. Hosted on the Ham Radio Crash Course on YouTube. If you haven't already and you want to make sure you catch us, which is every other week, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, make sure you click subscribe and click that bell. We're going to get right into it because we got a lot to talk about today. So I'm going straight to our hosts. We got our panel of hosts here, starting at the upper left. Gordo, how you doing this week?
All is fine, Josh, and we have sunshine. Isn't that great?
We do. It's very warm here, actually. It's unseasonably warm for me. I need a little bit more rain before I'm committing to spring. So, Don, how you doing?
I'm great. We have an uncommonly strong cold front coming through that it's actually about 20 degrees cooler than it was this time 24 hours ago. So we actually may be talking about frost maybe tomorrow morning or maybe Friday morning when we were looking at 85 degrees yesterday. So it's one of those rather strong little springtime cold fronts, but no severe weather and should be okay. No rain for the next week or so. We've got a big show, so let's get into it.
Right on. And Val, how you doing? Good to have you back on. It's been a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Sorry, guys. I was snowbirding. We ended up buying a house down there, so we get to have all the fun of starting all over with antennas down there now with better propagation. But back in the Nine land, and it is cold here, but it's easy to swallow when you were gone in January and February.
Mm-hmm. So, and Amanda rounding. Oh, sorry. Did I cut you off? Sorry. And Amanda rounding it out. How you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. I can't believe I still have a voice after the Last Man Standing special event this last 7 days, I think it was. But that's not what we're here for. We've got a full show, full. And this is, the Dayton special. So we're going to be going over some VIPs here, and we want to welcome them with open arms. So with that, I'm actually going to introduce our first welcome guest. We have Michael Coulter, W8CI. How you doing, Mike? I think you have some announcements to make for us.
I do. Yeah, and the call is Whiskey Charlie India, not Lima.
Oh.
That's okay.
I'll get
anyway,
it. You talk.
Anyway, yeah. That's no problem. I do want to announce the award winners. And, there's a lot of talk. Well, you didn't have Hamvention. And why aren't you going to have Hamvention? Looks like this thing is winding down. The problem is that a lot of people make plans internationally. We are very much an international event. And if there's any of our international friends out there, I want to say hello to them. And occasionally I get to talk to them on the radio every now and again, and that's really thrilling. One of the things that I do, amongst others with Hamvention, is I am a co-chair of the awards committee, have been either a chair or co-chair for many, many years. And we give 4 major awards. And this year, the Technical Achievement Award, I think you all know Tamitha Skal, Whiskey X-Ray 6, Space Weather Woman, SWW. Great person. And she has her work and her dedication and her attitude and making that space weather so exciting, just, I think, takes us all away. So she's so full of energy, and we are really glad to have her win that award. A Special Achievement Award this year goes to Whiskey 3, Whiskey Lima, Wes Lombali. And Wes is going to be interviewed here shortly, so I won't go into a lot of detail other than everybody loves this guy. And I found out after the fact that he was a friend of my brother's, my brother who started the Dave Coulter DX, the Dave Coulter Youth DXpedition, and which is a great event. And Wes has been part of that. And then the Club of the Year is a very interesting club. And the Vienna Wireless Society out of Washington, D.C. And I believe we'll have a representative here from that group to tell you about the amazing and exciting things that they do. It's a great group. And there was one other winner. The amateur of the year is Angel Vasquez, Whiskey Papa 3 Radio, and a well-deserved award. I mean, there's so much this guy's done. Yeah, you could say, did you give it to him because of Arecibo? He's done a lot of work there, absolutely. But if you knew the work that he did in Puerto Rico, in a lot of the disasters he's had, their country, Puerto Rico's had. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I apologize. And I've been to Puerto Rico. What a beautiful place that is as well. And just a quick shout out there to WA3FET that I know he's watching. Excellent, good friend of Angels. Anyway, I'm not going to go too much longer here. And right now, but I want to come back in a little bit and tell you about some of the exciting things that Hamvention is going to do on the Hamvention weekend, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So with that, let me send it back to Amanda.
Thank you so much, Michael. And, I had this wonderful introduction and then we went live and it slipped me. But I just want to thank him. Michael, you've done this for many, many years, being the spokesperson for Dayton Hamvention and also the chair of the awards. So tell us real quick, how long have you been doing this?
Well, I was afraid you were going to ask me that. Probably at least as the chair of the awards committee, maybe 15 years. I'm also a past general chairman for 2 years, 2011 and 2012. But we only allow a person to be a general chairman for 2 years. And then I've been I'm on the board, have been on the board for a long time. I'm our financial chair, and I do a lot of things, whatever it takes. I do it. I love Hamvention and I love amateur radio, and we've seen some pretty tough times with Hamvention, and we've seen some good times. But, our motto there is we just take a slamming and we keep on hamming.
I like that motto. That's it. That's excellent. Well, we're going to break with Michael for now. And we're going to introduce you to Brendan O'Neill. His call sign is Kilo Mike 4, Hotel Romeo Romeo. Welcome, Brendan. You're with the Vienna Wireless Society, who won Ham Club of the Year. Is that how you say that? Club of the Year, whichever you want to call it. So welcome to the show. Thank you for answering our invite. So the first thing I want to ask you is, where is your club, and what do you guys do?
Sure. Yeah, we have fun is what we do. We are in Vienna, Virginia, which is just right outside of Washington, D.C., almost due west by just a few short miles. So that's where we're located. As a matter of fact, we just relocated our flagship 2-meter repeater K4 HTA to atop the, I wonder if I'm allowed to say this, the Capital One building in Tyson's Corner, which is like the third tallest building in Virginia. So we used to be on a 60-foot mast, sort of in a hilly area, and we've made a lot of new friends with our new antenna and repeater location.
Very good. And I read that your club is really into public service and just getting.
Absolutely.
You have over, how many members do you guys have now?
So at last I heard, which was a few hours ago, somewhere between 280 and 300 paid members.
Wow.
Yeah, that's an amazing club roster.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys have a net every week, but I can't imagine what that club roster would be like to call them all out for check-ins.
So that's interesting. We have 5 nets per week. Wow.
Tell us about them.
So we do on our flag. I call it our flagship repeater because I'm the trustee for it, and it's way up in the air. So we have a 2-meter FM voice net on Monday evenings. I'm trying to find my notes because I can't remember. Tuesday nights we have a digital net. Wednesday nights we have a CW practice net, which is sort of a combination of using the repeater for voice and using Zoom. And we've been doing that Zoom piece way before COVID. Thursday nights we have a 10-meter net called the Powwow net, which our net control for that AE4R Mike likes to refer to it as the boring net. It is far from boring. And then we have a face-to-face QSO, which some of the older folks are starting to get back together. I'm still a little bit leery of going out to a restaurant and meeting people face-to-face right now. But at a local restaurant, we could get up to 50 people there for lunch on a Tuesday.
Pretty amazing. Now, you guys actually have some things in the work real quick. It's coming up. So I think you want to talk about that, maybe having to do with an ARRL convention.
Let me think about that. Yes, actually, what great timing to win Club of the Year. The 24th of April, we are hosting the Virginia Section Virtual Convention. So a shout out to the ARRL leadership that has been helping us get this together. They gave us the convention 2 years ago, and then we had to cancel the in-person event, and now we've gotten our ducks in a row, and we're hosting a virtual event with 3 different tracks of subject matter experts, a boot camp basically for beginners and returners to the hobby, hot topics, which is a variety, and if there's somewhere in there, there's a link for, scroll up if you don't mind all the way to the top. That's a different, okay, don't worry about it. Somewhere in there, there's a link for the tracks. Then there's a hot topics track, and then I'm hosting Virginia Aries Auxcom because I'm the local Aries EC and Races radio officer, and I've been working with CISA ECD on some Auxcom things in Northern Virginia as well.
That's awesome. We'll have to talk offline. I'm also a big Auxcom member here in Colorado, so okay. Great. Anyhow, I wanted to say one more thing, because some of these conventions and things we thought we might have to pay. What does yours cost to get involved?
Ours costs absolutely zero. Just click on a link and show up. And we are doing a raffle, and we do have we've solicited some sponsors that are helping offset the cost and stuff. But because we're such a robust club and we have so many members that pay dues, we find ourselves lucky to be able to host events for members and non-members that don't cost a thing.
Very good. All right. Well, I'm going to give you 20 seconds here. Tell us anything else we need to know about the Vienna Wireless Society before we let you go.
20 seconds. Okay. We meet twice a month, second and fourth Fridays. Check out the website for sure. We offer 2 topics per meeting, and they're all recorded and posted after the fact on our YouTube page. All of this is on our website, so go click around, please. We're very proud of our antenna program and our Elmer program. We have subject matter experts from every agency on the planet because of our location in the world, and garbage men to presidents of companies and technology specialists. So come check Vienna Wireless out. And I forgot to say it, and I just got a text message. Thank you, Andrew. Our 2-meter repeater is also on Echolink, a recent addition. So K4HTA/R is our Echolink node.
Great. That was perfect. Thank you, Brendan, for joining us this evening. And it sounds like Vienna Wireless Society really earned that award. So congratulations to all of your members.
I have 3 more pages to go. So are we really done?
Well, if you want to hang out when we do the wrap up, we can jam a little bit.
No. I'm sticking around, but thank you for the time.
Yeah, stick around, and we appreciate it. With that, we're going to go over to Val and company. And Val, I just quickly want to say congratulations, Angel. This was so well deserved, and you have worked your hiney off to encourage people to get into amateur radio, and everything you've done during the Puerto Rico disasters. I loved hearing you give updates on 20 meters during the day, and thank you for everything you do. So Val, take it away.
Well, thanks. It's my great honor, great pleasure to introduce this year's Dayton Hamvention Ham of the Year. Not only is Angel Vasquez, Whiskey Papa 3 Radio, a really good ham, he's a great friend. And I again want to reiterate that it's such an honor to have you on. And I'm so happy for you, and it's so well deserved.
Thank you very much there, Val. Thank you, and thank Ham Nation. I want to say hello first to everyone out there in Ham Nation and all my friends there in Puerto Rico. Saludos a mis amigos en Puerto Rico también. And thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm very honored to be here. And by the way, I had to do this. Michael will be proud of me. You spelled my last name wrong, but it's okay.
I just saw that. It ends in a Z. Yeah.
That's no kidding.
I'm
I just
following
did
the
that
show
because
I'll fix
Anyway.
that. You keep talking. I'll fix that too. I'll do it all.
No problem. I just had to kick that one in. Anyway, thank you very much there, Val. It's a pleasure. And coming from an ex-Ham of the Year, getting interviewed from an ex-Ham of the Year, I feel honored as well.
Well, I know you've had your feet in a lot of different aspects of ham radio. Everybody just thinks about Arecibo and things, but you originally started at WNYC, right? At the radio station as an engineer, correct?
I was a radio engineer for WNYC, and interesting enough, I wasn't in ham radio back then, and I was kind of ignorant to ham radio, and until one of my good friends, Jim, WA3FET, who was the first guy, unfortunately for me, I'm only kidding, Jim, that I met at the observatory. Very fortunate for me, and Jim was the one that got me involved. But yes, we started at WNYC, and we were there, had a great time there. I was only there for a year when we had to move back for medical conditions, not mine, for family members. But yeah, and then I, luckily for me, there was an opening at the Arecibo Observatory, and that was back in August 25th, 1977. And since then until this day, I'm still there, Val.
Well, and you've worked your way up the ranks. Now, so you were late getting your ham ticket like me. I think it was like 1993. You were kind of late to the party.
93, yeah, 93 again. So what happened was I was real ignorant. I says, why would I want an amateur license when I've got this first class radio, telephone, radar endorsement? I got a commercial license, and I'm getting, and so I was totally out of it. And then Jim says, no, this is my, and I got to give it to Jim and my good friend Ray, KP4RAY. These are the guys that got me involved. And because of ham, I mean, if ham radio has been like a change all for my life. And so I'm glad they got rid of my ignorance from ham radio. And ham radio has been such a big factor in my life. And I use all these examples of so many people, because when you hear, and this is why I say, because when everyone hears amateur, and I said amateur, and so obviously, well, we've got doctors and Nobel Prize winners and everyone else. There's no and senators and all from all walks of life, including a lot of on this Ham Nation transmission. And there's nothing amateur about these guys at all. So I'm glad. I give thanks to all my friends for opening my eyes to that, Val.
Well, good thing you brought up Nobel Prize laureate, because if you want to show the next photo, you helped lead this huge moon bounce effort that you guys had at Arecibo, and I recognize a couple of
you might
VIPs
put a couple of characters in there. The guy on the left there, that's the guy I've been talking about. That's my brother from another mother, Mr. Dr. Jim Breakall, and that's WA3FET. And in the red shirt, that's Nobel laureate K1JT, a super good friend of mine. And now because I've worked with Joe many years, and also actually I timed this pulsar that earned him the Nobel Prize. So so when we were doing the moon bounce, we were going to do JT68, and so who else but to invite the guy that wrote it. And so that's why we invited Joe. And next to Joe, I'm in the black shirt. In the back, in the front of him, that's Angel WP4G, who does a lot of moon bounce. A lot of moon bounce, and we definitely invited Angel in there. And the guy standing there in the shorts, everyone must know him. Very famous, probably the most famous ham in Puerto Rico, NP4A, Pedro Pisa. And so we also invited Pedro, who's a fantastic engineer, and it was just a fantastic team.
So just quickly, how much power did you guys use, and did you make a lot of contacts? Okay,
so that's very interesting. The amplifier, you can see right above Joe's head there. That's the amplifier we have to use on the second day. What happened was the first amplifier that we did, which was that one, it didn't work because of our power supply. So we ran the first day just putting out about 50 watts. But then again, when we put out where we got at Arecibo, we've got 70 dB gain. And so when we're putting out 1 watt, but the ERP out there is about a megawatt. And so we were even though we were 50 watts, we were transmitting, we're up above 60, 70 megawatts transmitting. And then the second day we transmitted with 450 watts. And the first thing I did was take a handy talkie and put it on the coax. We had, I disconnected a lot of the, a lot of the filters and stuff. And I put a handy talkie on the cable, okay, on the LMR 900, and could chunk the moon. We were tracking the moon. I can chunk the moon with 1 watt. I can chunk the local repeater off the moon. And we have recordings of this.
Wow.
So that was the first thing. We had to do that. Obviously, we had to do that, and everyone say their call sign, and here 3 seconds later, our calls coming back from off the moon. So it was a really, really exciting event, and obviously that got us the cover of QST in 2010 in August.
Well, and then I know on a more somber note, when hurricane, luckily I came to the Puerto Rico State Convention, which I highly recommend. If you guys ever want to go to a really fun state convention, the Puerto Rico State Convention, usually in January.
I've got news on that later, but I'll let you finish.
Yeah. It's usually, I think, in January, but it's a great convention. And, of course, we learned the hard way at that convention. Sunday's the hot day to be there. We booked our flight back because usually everybody's tearing down. But that's where I originally met. I got the Arecibo tour, which we'll talk about in a bit too. But and then 8 months later, Hurricane Maria struck. And I was down there for the effort. And I think we have a shot of me dropping off some food for your wife, who was collecting food for the area neighbors, because where you guys live, you're really not in the town of Arecibo. You're north or heading out of town towards the Arecibo Observatory, which is nowhere near the town. And when Maria struck, it was hard to get to town. I remember Oscar, it took him and his son 2 days just to chainsaw out of their driveway. So I can't even imagine how long it would take to get to Arecibo from your house. So there we are dropping out food. But I know you were on the air every day for like 8 weeks straight, helping out during the crisis, right?
Every day. By the way, that is my ex-wife. That's Ava, KP4 EVA. And I want to thank you, Val, for doing that. And yes, those all that food was given to a abused children's center that were they didn't have anything, and also an old folks retirement area. So I want to thank you for helping us help them. And
we had to drop off the some equipment that was sent down to Angel. And so on my day off, Red Cross requires us to take a day off every 10 days down there. So on my day off, we went and delivered radios, and I went grocery shopping. Jerry, I went down with spare cash. So Jerry and I, that was on Jerry and I, that food. I got to go to the grocery store and clean them out.
Oh, thank you.
With what little supplies they had.
It went to good use, and I want to thank you and Jerry for that.
Well, and thank you for all the efforts you did.
Thank you.
It was pretty amazing. You were there. I was only there, a little less than 4 weeks, and you were there 8 weeks. I can't imagine. And I mean, you were there longer. I mean, but you were working 8 weeks straight. So.
What happened was, as soon as the hurricane hit, the next day, it usually takes me from my house. It takes me about 10 minutes to get to the observatory. It took me that day about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to get there with a neighbor behind a backhoe from a neighbor.
Oh,
we
wow.
went up there. So we got up there, and I had an SUV, so it took me a long time to get up there. We finally got up there, and the first thing obviously I did was, it's still there. Okay, and it's still there. So we had a lot of people sheltering at the observatory. We took all their names. I went down, and because the first antenna that I looked at was mine, and it did survive. Okay, so my antenna did survive on the tower, and so we took all their names and started. And that's when we started calling. I went back down and just started calling people. And luckily for me, see, this is what I say all the time. And I was luckily and fortunate enough to get the Yasmi Excellence Award because of this kind of an effort. But I've said that is when I called, I had all these guys answering me because somebody put me on the cluster. Okay. And so who answered me? Okay. And this is where I'm coming out for amateurs. Okay. Who answered me? All my friends that are amateurs that are not really, that really put amateur radio on the page. So we had guys. So who the first guy to answer was WA Dr. Jim Braycall, WA3FET, right? Professor at Penn State. We had the vice president at Cornell University, who's a very good friend of mine, A2JQ, Hal Craft. We had Joe Taylor, K1JT, Nobel laureate. He was answering me. Okay, we had the ex-engineer Harp. We had Tim Duffy. We had the Tom Kilo 8 Charlie X-ray, right? The Hall of Famer, right? All these guys were the guys that were taking the names, getting the names, and those are the guys, you see? And this is what I said, that those are the guys, those are the real heroes, because those are the guys that did everything. I was calling, but if nobody answered, those are the guys that answered. And so what I did, I had to give them a standing ovation for them, because those are the guys that helped them. They were there with me every day for 8 weeks at 6 p.m. and 245. And every time we would do today, okay, hey, so-and-so, and then we will wait for the message and back and forth. So we did plenty of those. I want to thank everyone stateside for helping, because I was originally called, okay, I need someone in Chicago. I need someone and the guy said, listen, forget about where they live. Give me the number. I'll call. And so that's the kind of people hams are.
It was great to see everybody come through. You could hear it on other bands too, for those 3 gentlemen that took over that radio station. It was truly amazing to see all the people that and helping out here in the States, stateside. So that was pretty cool. Now, another cool thing that you did was you started the first bilingual VE testing. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. So I'm a VE. I've been a VE for 25 years, but right now when COVID hit, we wanted to we want to still do testing, but the Greater Los Angeles Area Amateur Radio Group, GLAARG, GLARG has a testing that does a virtual testing. And so what happens is we do testing here. It's funny about the Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico, the public education is all in Spanish, okay? But we are natural-born citizens as of 1917. Everyone is a citizen. Okay, so we've got to get a license, but to get an FCC federal license, we have to take it. It used to be you have to take it in English. So back about 25 years ago, I said that kind of doesn't sound right. We should have to be able to do this in Spanish as well. So we got not only me, we got a lot of people got involved, and the FCC approved the Spanish testing. So now that we can have when being part of GLARG, GLARG was doing the testing in English. We wanted to start a program doing our testing virtually via Zoom in Spanish as well. And so we started that, and it's been a hit ever since. And so now people could be safe, because right from the comfort of your own home, and not only for the examinees, but for the examiners too, we can do it from the comfort of our own home.
And I noticed the next one coming up is April 21st, and there's only 3 slots left, and I put the link in the chat room, guys. So if you know anybody who needs to take the test or wants to take the test, definitely better sign up and go in that link and go down to all the way down to the bottom towards April 21st.
And not only that, as a matter of fact, and the link, remember, we do bilingual. So all the VEs are bilingual. So even if you don't speak if you don't speak Spanish, you can still take the test that day, because we have all our VEs are bilingual. So we give the FCC what you get on Ham Study. You go to hamstudy.org, and that's we do. Well, we do the question pool is a question pool, and so we also give them in English as well, there, Val. But thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it.
Well, and then last but not least, let's talk about Arecibo now. For those of you who may have seen that, I was able to get that VIP tour from Angel back right before, 8 months before the hurricane struck. And I'll put a link in the chat room if you want to see that tour. Angel took us down into the guts, out on the platform. It was great. And but I think we have a video now of what happened to Arecibo. If you want to show that. Sad day.
Yeah, that was just before 8 o'clock in the morning. We were hearing cable snapping all weekend, and there she goes. And as you can see, it didn't fall straight down. You can see that it went to the right. That's because the original cable that snapped on the 10th of August, okay, that was an auxiliary cable. Why auxiliary? Because the dome was not there always. The dome was added in 1995. And when we added the dome, we added 600 tons of weight to the platform. So we had to add auxiliary cables to prevent the torque when you turn that big arm, what we call the azimuth arm. And so that one snapped first on August 10th. And then we had another one there in November. Now that was a main cable. And then when the main cable snapped in November, then we were really worried. We were worried back then also. But what happened was we started strands started popping on the other ones, and that's why you see that the platform didn't fall this way. It went that way because the other two towers still held the platform. That's why you see it go to the side.
So I know you guys tracked meteors and asteroids and things like that. So they're doing it now in California, I think. But are you guys working on getting Arecibo back up and running?
Yeah, that's a great question, Val. Great question. Yes. Again, we are still doing science at the observatory. Okay, we have a 12-meter dish with nothing like a 305-meter dish, but we still have a 12-meter dish, and we have also optical instruments as well. We have a LiDAR.
I remember seeing that when I was there. The LiDAR was very cool.
Yeah, so we have those two
it goes as high as you can see. I don't know how far does that laser go?
Until it disappears. I forget the numbers that in there, but and we have that. We have optical equipment. Then we have photometers that measure the air glow, the photons, and so we still have that. And the plans are, Val, that we do want to put another telescope. It will not be the same type of telescope. We have there's a couple of different ideas. One idea is having 1,009-foot dishes in a phased array. Another one is having 18-meter dishes as well. So this is that's a project that in conjunction with NRAO, Green Bank in West Virginia, and the other one is what we call the New Generation Arecibo Telescope. So there's a couple of ideas on that. Again, this is all depending on the National Science Foundation, who owns this, and their bottom line is if the scientific community is saying, okay, we want this. Then they'll go ahead. So we're waiting on them. We haven't given up. We've got hopes still. We've got a lot of work to do, and we're looking forward to the future and for another Arecibo.
I mean, that thing was built they started building it in the 60s. So I mean, technology has changed so much. And well, it's glad to know you still have a job. Yeah,
that's a good thing too. We do other things as well at the observatory.
Yeah. So did Josh or Amanda, are there any questions for Angel?
No, I just have like a bazillion comments, Angel, mostly about your energy has lit up this chat room like you wouldn't believe. And especially even Josh's wife she had to comment. She's like, he's just glowing, I think is what she said. Well-deserved, well-deserved. Brett wanted to say amateur is not the opposite of professional. You're absolutely correct, Brett. A lot of Spanish comments that I cannot pronounce correctly, and I would probably insult you all. So I'm not going to say that. It just a lot of praise, Angel. Though well deserved. This was probably a really long time coming, and I'm going to give the other hosts a chance to give you the same comment. So Gordo, you first, and then we'll go to Don.
Okay.
Yeah.
Angel has been so instrumental in showing hams what ham radio can do in an emergency. Thank you, Angel, for your energy.
Thank you, Gordo. Thank you for everything you guys do too, and thank what you've done for all your career. I'm honored to hear that comment like that from you.
Con mucho gusto. El Dono for Angel.
Yeah, Angel, as someone who also lives in the hurricane belt down here around South Mississippi and New Orleans, and
yes.
and went through Katrina. What you guys did during your storms is nothing short of miraculous, and you're to be congratulated on that. That just in itself would have probably gotten you this award. But your body of work. You and I got licensed about the same time. I got licensed in '95, and what I've done in ham radio is nothing compared to what you've done in ham radio, and you're an inspiration to all of us. And I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done.
Josh,
Indeed.
Josh, what about you?
Well, I knew about Arecibo before I knew about Angel, but then when when I found out the history behind all of it and the relationship with amateur radio is just fascinating, and I just can't wait to hear more about what's going to happen in the future. And it already sounds like there's rebuild plans and everything else going on for interesting, I won't say better, but different things that will also be helpful and amazing to not just the furtherment of science, but amateur radio as well. So thank you very much, Angel, for what you've done.
Well, then thank you, Josh. Again, I've been lucky. It's I'm telling you guys, now I get, Val and a couple of people here have been to Arecibo. You know how great it is to be a ham and working at the Arecibo Observatory. It's just this. I mean, it's the same thing we do in our shack back here, right? It's the same thing. We got transmitters and radios and receivers. I mean, it was just the coolest job in the world. And Val, I just got one thing before I do forget. And you mentioned the Puerto Rico Ham Fest. I have great news. We canceled the last year. It is going. It will be there in January 2022. We're going to have the Puerto Rico Ham Fest. And if you guys haven't been there, Val has been there. Mike, I mean, you guys you've got to get there. So we'll be sending out the invitations for all the sponsors that want to come down and join us again. And well, it's just. We'll be sending it out, but I just got real news. I want to thank the Caribbean Amateur Radio Group, WP4CRC, and its president, Mr. Coqui Montijo. You met Coqui, WP4OV. He was the chairman, and we want to thank all of them for their hard work, him and his crew. And we're going to get this back on the air next year. So I just had to mention that. Thank you to the Caribbean Amateur Radio Group. Muchísimas gracias, muchacho, y fantástico trabajo.
Yay. I just love that Hamvention. Jerry and I had so much fun there. And January, you guys, it's a perfect time to go to Puerto Rico. The beaches are beautiful. And they treat, when we went there last time from the States, they had a VIP dinner for all the people from the States at that one restaurant. I mean, it was just, we had so much fun. But definitely don't book your flight out until Monday, because Sunday's the big day.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to go. Hopefully we'll go this year, because we're jonesing for Ham Fest, So thanks, Angel. I appreciate it. Well deserved. I'm so glad you won. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you to Ham Nation, and thank you to all my friends out there. And a big hello to the BGFN. We'll hear you guys on tonight. Yes. Okay. Adios. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, before we pass it to our next guy, I know I'm taking up all the time. Sorry, everybody. I just want to go over a couple of contests that are going up. If you want to show slide 3 for me.
Sure.
We've got the state QSO parties. A lot of them coming up this weekend. We got Mississippi and Louisiana. And then next weekend, Georgia, New Mexico, and North Dakota. And then a bunch the weekend after that. And a really big one coming up April 24th. That you will definitely be busy if you get on for the Florida QSO party. But those of you who need North Dakota, that's a good time to get on and get them. Also coming up at the next slide is the CQMM, the Manchester Mineira contest. And that's out of Brazil, but it's worldwide now. But UYLs. I know a lot of you were learning CW in the Long Island, the Long Island Amateur Radio Club, which I had joined, and they have a YL-CW class and everything. But all of you new YLs that just got your CW license, or those of you who are seasoned CW operators, you're worth 10 points out there in this contest. So get in the contest, and you think you get a pile up on phone. Well, if being a YL, you get a nice pile up on CW for this one. So that's all I've got for this week. So I'm going to pass it over to Gordo, who has Wes with him.
I do. Whiskey 3, Whiskey Lima. I've heard that call sign before. Wes, welcome aboard, and congratulations on your Special Achievement Award through the Dayton Hamvention. You earned it. And what was your most memorable special achievement? And you've done a bunch that has helped earn you this award.
You know, this is a tough act to follow. It's so exciting to be even on this August show with you guys. And Angel, I'm really just astonished at all the things you've done. And the Club of the Year, the Vienna Club, is just wonderful too. And my biggest achievement, I think, was being part of the North Fulton Amateur Radio League. And it's kind of interesting how clubs are just the dynamo that make all this stuff happen. And we have so much fun in our club and so many activities going on a regular basis. And they just showed a screenshot of our website there. But we were Club of the Year back in 2010. But I don't want to sound like I'm trying to upstage the Vienna Club. But we have a net every week, CW Chat, where we talk about CW, and we don't practice. We just talk about all the nuances. Anybody can jump in as a new guy or an old person or whatever. And we have a tech net on every Monday night where you can ask any kind of questions you want. And we have a 10-meter net, and then we have a YL net, and YLs from all over the world check into that because we do have the ability to do all that. We have Hungry Hams that meets on Wednesdays at noon, and we've been able to have sparser groups, but still we have a group that gets together and it's starting to open up more. But the neat thing about that was the restaurant where we had it was able to allow us to have social distancing and BE exams, and we've licensed or upgraded over 100 new or upgrading hams during COVID. So it was just wonderful of Slopes Barbecue to allow us to do this. And they just were happy to do it. They really identify with ham radio also. We also sponsor an event in November, call it Ham Jam, where we have 3 world-class speakers come. Joe Taylor was one of our guys, and a lot of well-known people have come. But all the proceeds from that go to youth activities and scholarships and trying to get more youth involved with ham radio. So we're going to have that again this year. Looking forward to kicking that thing off again. The other things that I've thought of while Angel and the Club of the Year Vienna was talking, I wrote down some notes, but I've forgotten them all now. So as I do, I've got a good memory, Gordo, but it's short. So there you go.
Oh, that's great. Now, Wes, what is your favorite operating mode and how many years have you had your license, and what mode is your most favorite?
I actually enjoy CW more than anything else, and
good.
I've got licensed back in '55, and the whole thing that kicked it off for me was field day. And I think I look back and I think of how many people my age got started in amateur radio back in the 50s, 60s, and it led to careers. And it was just, I think there's probably thousands out there, Gordo, that followed a similar kind of a career path. And kind of like what Angel was saying, I never worked a day in my life. I was just having fun with all the kind of neat stuff that I had to play with, and it all kind of was tied into amateur radio in some way or another.
Oh, that's terrific. And Field Day is so important. The league is already promoting Field Day, and we certainly hope that all of us will be able to take part in a real live Field Day. And what Field Day plans does the North Fulton Amateur Radio League have this year?
We're gearing up for it right now, and fortunately, we're right at the point where our local parks department is thinking about opening up the parks here in Roswell, Georgia. And so they've asked for a proposal from us to how we're going to keep everybody safe and social distances and safe in terms of washing our hands and what have you. But for the record now, Gordo, and I'm not bragging about this now, but over the past many, many years, we've had the most participation of any club in the country. And 3 out of 4 of those years, we were the top scoring club in the 3A division, which is pretty sporty. Now, I know this is not a contest, but nonetheless, we score, and we're proud of what we've been able to do, especially along in the get on the air stations where we have youth come in and we indoctrinate them. We always have a radio merit badge for the scouts and introduce them to ham radio. So Field Day is kind of our big event for the year.
Terrific. Well, we sure hope you have a good one coming up. And we've got just about a minute. So any parting words, Wes, on the secret of the North Fulton Amateur Radio League to get more and more local hams joining your group?
You know, I would think the most important thing is when you see somebody you don't know, walk up to them, introduce yourself, and just make them feel at home. And so many clubs, first time I came down to Georgia from Ohio, I thought I was invisible when I went to a couple club meetings. And it really rubbed me wrong, and I kind of just wasn't comfortable at all. But we go out of our way to try to engage anybody that's a new member or try to help them understand. We've got a project going on right now on the flow chart of how to select your first radio if you're a new ham. So we're putting that together too. So it's so important to try to engage new people. And in our club, and I've got this cowbell. My wife and I got over in Austria. We were touring around over there, and we were up in the mountains with one of our ham friends, and you hear all this melodious sounds coming from nowhere, but it's cows. And they all have bells on it. It's just amazing to hear that. I had to have a cowbell, so I got the biggest one I could find from a real hardware store that sells cowbells. Well, to get our meeting started when I was president, I had to get people's attention, and that cowbell, everybody could have so much fun just chatting with each other and just shooting the breeze as you do. And I had to ring that cowbell and make everybody aware that if they didn't get in their seats right away, I was going to start telling grandpa jokes. So, thank you for all that, and thank you for what you do. And it's so great to be a part of ham radio and people like you.
Well, thanks so much, Wes. We are a fraternity and W3 Whiskey Lima Special Achievement, and that's quite an award from the Dayton Hamvention. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And again, folks, to log on to the webpage, it's for the club North Fulton Amateur Radio League. Did I get that correct?
You got it, and it's an org afterwards.
Oh, .org. Okay, very good. Well, Wes, thank you so much. There it is. Josh has brought it up. And now, Wes, you and I will step back, and we're going to have Don, infamous Don, take over. So, Wes, thank you again, and a cowbell bonk, or however they go. Do you have that cowbell there?
It's upstairs, but I'll be glad to go up and get it. I'd love to show it to you.
Well, no, that's okay, but we'll have you back again very soon. Thanks so much, Wes, and congratulations again on your Dayton Hamvention Special Achievement Award. So, Don, what do you think about Wes, huh?
Yeah, the whole panel tonight, just a better gathering of hams I don't think you could find if you spent 10 years trying to gather them up all together. Very well done to the Dayton Amateur Radio Association on the slate of Achievement Award winners this year for sure. And unfortunately, Dr. T is not with us live tonight, nor is she recorded with us either. I don't have a solar update for you coming up. She has been a little bit under the weather, and she's got a whole bunch of things going on, both personally and professionally right now. I did, however, send her a direct message on Twitter and told her to turn us on because we were talking about her, and it was quite fitting, I think, that the first award winner out of Michael Coulter's mouth tonight was Dr. T. She's the newest ham, so she gets mentioned first of all of us here. Only licensed for a few years now, but she has certainly ingrained herself into the psyche of amateur radio, not only for the information that she presents with solar weather and how it affects what we do with this hobby and the service, but just the way that she does it. She's beloved. I don't know of a single person who doesn't go, oh God, there's that Dr. T woman again. No, it's like, oh God, there's that Dr. T woman again. It's like she's infectious. I mean, she really is. She's in a good way. Yeah, she's the best. Her enthusiasm and being able to take something as complex as space weather and just to be able to distill it down into something that we can all understand is very cool. If you go back a couple of weeks to last week, to her solar report, she mentions being awarded this, being presented this award, Special Achievement Award, and she mentions me in some of her remarks, which I was quite surprised by and humbled by. But I guess I'm the one that kind of found her and brought her to ham radio. And so she's licensed now. She's one of us, and she loves us. She loves being part of amateur radio in general. She loves being part of Ham Nation and Amateur Radio Newsline in particular. And she is another one who has earned it, that's for sure. So we'll say congratulations to Dr. T, and we'll get her on here live just as soon as we possibly can. But we need to go back to Michael Coulter and talk a little bit more about the QSO party. Michael, what can you tell us about that?
Oh boy, I am really excited just to hear all these great amateur radio folks here. And you're right, this is a pretty good collection of amateur radio folks. And it's a daunting task a whole lot to pick winners each year and to research it out and to try to make sure that they are as worthy of the award. And so I am just really tickled to see everybody be here. I'm sorry that Tamitha couldn't be here, but I agree with you. You're absolutely. She's just really high energy and makes things very positive. All right. I also want to mention, talking about, somebody mentioned that clubs are the real dynamo in amateur radio, and I've thought that a long time. And I will mention that actually it was my idea, and I started the Club of the Year Awards several years ago. Maybe that was 2010, but I recall that. And before I forget, before we move on, just a couple more things. I want to send a special hello out to all the 700 plus volunteers of Hamvention. And they all do just a wonderful job, and we're all volunteers. And when I talk about Hamvention, I think Hamvention belongs to all of us because, it's been going on for a long time. I think we all have good memories there, and we all look forward to it. So it isn't just about me or about, a couple people at Hamvention. It's about all the people there and everybody who goes there. We certainly appreciate that. Let's talk about some exciting things that we got coming up. We partnered up with K3LR, Tim Duffy, and on Thursday, May 20th at 9 a.m., we're going to have Contest University, and we are a partial sponsor with that, along with Ray, and going to be really exciting. But let me tell you what's really different about that is that normally at the end of it, there's a big radio that is you have to sign up and you have to be there for it. But we're giving away each day on the Thursday and the Friday. On Friday, we have the forums, and we'll talk a little bit more about our forums. But each day we have about 4 major radios that we're going to give away. we're going to give away two 73 ICOM 7300s, a 7610 and one ICOM 705. That's nearly like $7,500 worth of radios each day. Plus, there's other things that are going to be given away. So you don't wait till the end of these events. We might break into Angel's and say, okay, Angel, hold on a minute. We're going to give a radio away at this point. So you got to be there. You got to sign up. You got to be present. So we're really excited about that. And, if you've never been to Contest University and never attended it, and you think it's all about just being, well, I'm not a contester, I'm not coming, you're really missing out, because it's really about how to be a great amateur radio operator, how to make how to get the best out of your amateur radio station, how to be a good ham. And there's so much to learn, and Tim's changed it up this year a little bit. He has the opportunity this year, since we're be doing it on on his platform. And I want to say that I've done things with K3LR before, and it is a very sturdy, robust platform, so we shouldn't have any problems at all. And they've proven that out. Please sign up for it about 30 days before the event. You can get on that Contest University site. And then also on the Friday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., we're going to have these award winners again, but they're going to be more formal presentations. And we will also be giving away those major radios again throughout that period. So that's, but you got to be there. You got to sign up ahead of time, and you got to be there to win. And we're giving away tickets to Hamvention and other things that will come up. So I really want to thank Ray No, DX Engineering, and Hamvention people. Those are the sponsors of this event. And on Saturday, we're going to have the QSO party, and the information of that, and all the information for all this is on our website at hamvention.org. Pretty easy. Maybe some of you have been there and looked at it. We're trying to keep it up, keep it going good. But on Saturday, starting from 8 a.m. and then lasting to 8 p.m., we're going to have the QSO party, and all the details are on the on our Hamvention page. And the exchange is basically the first year that you and if you didn't come, you just put this year on there. I was talking to the guys. I said, well, maybe you ought to just the exchange ought to be just our IQ or our waist size or something like that. But they didn't like that idea. And so anyway, there's no big prizes for that, but we will have some real nice certificates for that. And also, while I'm thinking of it, I want to say hello to, I can't really say hello to him, but my thoughts go out to him and his family, WAHO, Randy. A lot of you know him, really good friend of the club and a good friend of mine. So since I'm on, I'm going to just go ahead and take that opportunity. And anyway, to all of you who are on tonight, thank you, all you winners, congratulations. And I will say something funny. I don't know if it's funny, but today as I was driving along, I started thinking about, getting involved in amateur radio and different things that happened in my life to get me there. And I was humming the song Telstar, that came out. We used to write, there were songs when I was a kid that came out about satellites that we put up in the sky. And one of them was Telstar. I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, thanks everybody. And all of you, every single one of you on here, very impressive amateur radio operators, very impressive what you all do for amateur radio. I'm glad to be here. And I wish everybody the very best 73. And unless there's any questions, back to you, Amanda.
The only question, there's more comments than questions, and everyone is excited that saying, after being in some pileups, I know that I need to probably take this course. So I think Valerie could chime in there. She's helped present on this, and she's got some smarts with her. So Valerie teaches you all the
I just wanted to say, for that Hamvention QSO party. First of all, that was a blast. Jerry got fourth place last year. I got on, I got the scraps on the radio, so I only got 45th place. But we had so much fun in that Hamvention QSO party. Kind of made up a little bit for not being there. And definitely contest you. Like he said, you don't have to be a contest. It teaches you how to have a better station, how to be a better operator. You learn about ethics in ham radio or grounding your station. There's all kinds of stuff that you'll learn about. Dr. T's presented there. I mean, there's so many good people that have presented there. But, Michael, I had a question for you. When you guys select the people or the clubs and things like that, are you all excluded? Because I really think you deserve to win a Ham of the Year.
Yes, we're excluded from that, and I am not worthy to win Ham of the Year. After I look and meet people like Angel and yourselves, and I'm just a poor guy from flyover country. I love amateur radio, do the best I can. But
I know
thank you for asking.
Not just Dara. I know you and your wife were working on something, getting new hams licensed. I want to say Montana or out Big Sky Country or something like that. Weren't you involved in something like that?
Right. Yeah, I've done that. I've done a lot of different things in amateur radio. I've traveled around the world and met a lot of people. Been an ambassador in India. Been a speaker in Doha, Qatar several times. Been a speaker in Germany, in Japan. But you know what? That's just what we do, and that's part of what I do. And as a Hamvention guy, and I'm really lucky to be part of it all. And I look back at my life and the travels I've gotten out of amateur radio and the people I've met. I'm thankful. That's it.
Well, you give so much to the hobby, so thank you. I thank you, Michael. You really do. Even though you don't think you do, you do.
I want to say one thing is that we've had so many Ham of the Years on the show or being part of the show. Some of our hosts. Boy, who have we had? We've had Bob Heil. Gordo, you've been Ham of the Year before, correct?
I think I was Instructor of the Year. Couldn't quite make the Ham yet.
Okay. George Thomas has been named Ham of the Year. I think there's quite a bit of us here on Ham Nation that have been named Ham of the Year. So obviously we've got a good group here, and we just really appreciate Dayton Hamvention. So Michael, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And everyone, check out the QSO party. Go to their website and find out how to get signed up for Contest University. So 7-3, Michael.
Yeah. Thanks to all of you, and very 7-3, and congratulations to the award winners.
All right, and keep watching, Michael, because you're going to see yourself shortly.
Uh-oh.
Thanks for coming on, Michael. Good to see you again.
Thanks.
Okay, I think we're throwing it over to ICOM then, yeah?
It's time for ICOM.
All right.
The great outdoors is calling. Get outside and under the stars with one of ICOM's ultimate SDR transceivers. Stay connected while off the grid. The IC705 is a perfect transceiver for hams who want to enjoy both the great indoors and outdoors. It's the perfect QRP companion. This transceiver has features and functions at the tips of your fingers in a portable package covering HF, 6 meters, 2 meters, 70 centimeters, and the weight is just under 2 pounds. 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall. 5 watts with BP272 battery, or 10 watts with 13.8 volts DC input. Create your own band opening with the IC9700. This transceiver brings direct sampling to the VHF-UHF weak signal world. This all-mode transceiver is loaded with innovative features that are sure to keep you busy. 4.3-inch color touchscreen with real-time high-speed spectrum scope and waterfall display. Smooth satellite operation with 99 satellite channels. And it supports dual-watch operation and full duplex operation in satellite mode. Visually sees the VHF-UHF world with ICOM's IC9700. Heard it, worked it, logged it. ICOM's IC7300 is a high-performance, innovative HF transceiver with a compact design that will far exceed your expectations. This innovative HF transceiver digitizes RF before various receiver stages to reduce the generated inherent noise in different IF stages. ICOM's IC7300 is a radio that changed the way entry-level HF is designed. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on all the great ICOM radios.
And we really do appreciate ICOM for supporting Ham Nation here on the Ham Radio Crash Course. And they're doing a giveaway. Every time we do one of these episodes, ICOM gives a swag pack, and then they pick a winner every month for an ICOM radio. Some of the winners for the swag pack that happened from the last episode was Brooke Loving, doesn't have a call sign. Hopefully they're working on that. Alan Albello, NKN4PVX, and Charles Hagen, N9NI. So they all won swag, and they, again, giving away a radio. This month they're going to be giving away an ID5100A, which is a fantastic mobile radio. And I do want to mention, I did a camp out last week, took the 705 with me. Fantastic portable radio. I ended up hooking it up to like a 100-watt amp. But the thing for me that I found was really amazing was I was wirelessly connected with my laptop to the 705. So for all you laptop users, you know when you plug in the charger and you start getting all that RFI that comes along the cable into your radio because of, you know, what you got going on with that DC AC to DC converter, wirelessly all of a sudden gets rid of a lot of that. So what a fantastic thing. The RSBA software works wonderfully with the 705, allowing you to do digital modes, whatever you want, or connecting your logger to your radio when you're doing contacts like for KA6 LMS, which I was operating /6 this past weekend. So it was a lot of fun. Great time. And thanks again, ICOM, for sponsoring this show. So we're throwing it over to Gordo because we're still doing the short shots, and we've got a fun one this week. So Gordo, why don't you walk it through?
All right. Well, thanks so much. And let's take a look at Dayton Hamvention that started all the way back in the 50s, if you all remember them. Well, Dayton Hamvention had its beginning at 1952. We started at the Biltmore Hotel until they kicked us out. I can't imagine why when we built beer can antennas that went all the way to the ceiling and set off the fire alarms. But it was in the late 50s, very early 60s that I got involved with a company called Standard, making the first Japanese, of all things, ham radio in light of all of the USA-made commercial radios converted over to ham. And take a close look at that map. Dayton Hamvention has drawn hams from over 100 countries coming in for the 3-day event. But actually, you want to be there for 4 days, and I'll explain why. Well, there's Ron, and Ron and I go back to the days of the Biltmore. He'll tell you stories, or he would have told you stories. He's, what I understand, a silent key. But what a good guy to make ham radio happen. And Ron was right there and has worked all these years with a Dayton ham radio convention. And yep, back in the 60s, I didn't wear any shirt, but we'll get over it because it was fun. Next shot immediately. Thank you. The next one was walking the swap meet. Now, the swap meet sets up on Thursday. And if you can sneak in, which was pretty easy back in the 80s and 90s, you could get a quick look at all of the neat stuff that would come out there. First of all, you were sort of amazed on the inside exhibits getting set up when Dave, WZ6X, we see him all the time yakking on what looks like a military radio. Well, that military radio actually went to someone, and it went to the folks outside. But, you know, newer technology, when we moved to the new location, there's Don. He's like tuning in to 75 meters. Or knowing Don, he's probably tuning in 160 meters. Well, at Dayton Hamvention, you always get hams with hats. And this deserves credit because he's got heat sink just to take the heat off of him, because we used to have the Hamvention in April, and we'll show you what happens in April, but they've moved it now to May. And there, of course, is Joe, N6NEB, and Joe is, or K0NEB, I'll get it right, K0NEB. Joe is the kit man, and he is always always had the wildest hats. And then I was accosted at our local hotel by this gentleman all dressed up, and I couldn't figure out who it was. Anybody figure it out? Anyone? Anyone?
That's Darth Vader. Oh,
yeah. Well, it was Darth Vader, but it's really Ray, K9JA. And, ICOM America does so much just for enthusiasm of ham radio, and all of the team really goes all the way out. Well, again, more back to hats. Yep, we saw plenty of hats with call signs. And some hats were taller than other. But, this is ham radio, where hams just sort of have fun, and we don't take ourselves at times too seriously. Well, I wondered about this. This is the old Dayton Hara Arena parking lot, and there's all sorts of places that you hope when they set you up for selling stuff that you're not going to be in a big puddle. I can't imagine why they had that barrel holding down the easy up when they had these power supply transformers that weighed probably 100 pounds plus. Wow. Fully functional, including the power supply Swan 350. I grew up with one of those radios and many earlier ones. And if ever you needed parts, colored parts, white parts, blue parts, they've got them at any great ham fest. And of course, if you're a Motorola person with the right Motorola software, $10 a piece. And these are working radios. You need an end connector or an end connector or an elbow. Well, we got them there at Dayton. And that's Eric with the W5YI group that helps edit our training manuals. And he found a tube. And it was still in the box. It was still in the bubble wrap, brand new, $25. Yeah, that's what happens on Thursday, because Thursday they get a lot of unwitting sellers come in that have acquired a lot of ham radio gear. They don't have a clue. All they know is this thing is heavy and I'd love to get rid of it. So come a day early and sneak into the Swap Fest. And of course, you got to have smell. Well, we're speaking of brats, the good smell. And they have plenty of that at Dayton Hamvention. Always smelling good things that are brewing. And a lot of stuff you just got to sort of look through. And no, he's not selling them one antenna for $5 a piece. You take them all for $25 a piece. No, wow. $25 for the whole bit, not $25 a piece. So good deals if you've got the capabilities to get them home. You do have to be a little careful at the old Hara Arena because they did have some concrete that was beginning to fail and blacktop that was beginning to fail. And oh no, everybody came in from outside going, oh my God, it was a giant geyser of all geyser. Well, what it was one of the sewer lines exploded right in the swap meet parking lot. What a smell. But let me tell you, they were ready. The Dayton Hamvention volunteers. No one gets paid a cent. These hundreds of volunteers, they had a vehicle there. The hams brought in trash cans to put over the geyser, and an hour later, except for the smell, you wouldn't know what happened. But then a couple of years later, toward the end of the Dayton Hamvention, even though we moved back from April to May, or moved forward, we had some incoming weather. Oh, nothing to worry about. It's coming in late at night. And yet the hams still continue to operate. No problem. I've got battery power. I'm on the air. Give me a little wet weather. No problem. Next morning, a little mini tornado-ette. Not a real tornado, but one to cause things to go askew. And the ham radio operators that got there at daybreak, there's Frank, AA2 Dr. Radio. We all pitched in and we helped everybody get their places set back up. This is the ham radio community. Not only are the volunteers for Hamvention volunteers, but all those that attend, we just jump right in because we know Michael is watching. Well, this was sad when they had the tornado that evening. Later on, the hams had already gone. This was a couple months later, completely devastated the Hara Arena. And as you can see, there's no rebuilding there. What a shame. But the hams, we learn to adjust when things change. the Greene County Fairgrounds, they go, well, I just don't know if this thing is going to go another year at another location. Hams are tough. We made it happen. Dara, Hera, the whole group, the Hamvention committee said, we'll make it work. So goodbye to Hera and hello to Orange County, Greene County, there we go, Fairgrounds, and they opened up their hearts to us, and we jumped right in. ARRL was one of the first in 2019 to come up with a new Hamvention event app where you could locate any dealer about any product that you were looking for. And I always enjoyed the lab folks at the ARRL taking apart some of the no-name import radios from overseas. And yeah, that second harmonic down about 3 dB, a little out of spec, but they say it like it was. And of course, at Hamfest, we always have fun with fun and games. And we even had some last man standing young guests come into the booth as well as circulate around. John Amadeo this past week was busy with his team, and all of you that made last man standing a great farewell. Well, where's Michael Coulter? Well, he's out there. No, he's not in one of the horse carriages. There he is. Now, you need a magnifying glass, or after the show, you can go zoom in. That's Michael driving the tractor that is creating the swap meet area. And what a wonderful swap meet area. Every single place gets their own little line and their own little marker. And that swap meet begins to fill up on Thursday. Now remember, not Friday, Thursday. They're rolling on Friday. And Thursday is when the bargains are out there. And as you can see, Michael, you did a good job on grading the walkways, even after a little bit of rain. Not much rain in May, but there you go. And again, anytime you attend a Hamfest where all of the volunteers are all ready to roll, there's always a little bit of levity in what's out there. But you come on Thursday and you'll see the guys getting cranked up for 75 meters, or is it 160 meters? I don't know, but this is fun stuff to watch. These guys having a ball. And of course, the old John Deere looks like a tractor, but it's an ice cream maker. That's at the new Greene County Fairgrounds. You got to take part of that. And of course, they did a good job on tinning. It's always a problem when there's a little bit of rain, but they've improved on lighting, and probably the next one they'll have, I don't know what they could do to improve on the tinning because it really held up well this last year. Well, we had a few little things. We lost a little bit of the sign after a windstorm. So his forms one and, well, yeah, right, okay. Immediately get on the radio. Forum as committee is there. They got the easy up, and bingo, they have covered the word so that it reads properly. But these are things that you just get used to at Hamfest, and that is we just all chip in and we make things happen. Some of the signage was a little strange. Guys, I don't know about this one, but I do know about this one. But new hams don't know about this one of being sure to take off the radio off your belt before entering. Well, you can imagine one ham says, brand new, and I'm devastated. He says, but it does say submersible. It was one of the submersible HTs from, I believe, ICOM America. Another ham said, no problem. I've got a giant magnet. And the way ICOM builds radios, there was enough metal around the antenna connector that he pulled it right out. A little bit of cleaning, and he's on the air again. Well, sort of. There's Eric again saying, I have a little tower. I'd like to figure out how to get it home all the way to North Pole, Alaska. No problem. On Thursday, I found a whole bunch of marine radios and ham radios going for brand new $25 a piece from a marine electronics dealer that says, I don't want any part of ham stuff. I got this on a trade-in, including the radar, so $25 each. That's what happens when you come the day early as they're getting set up. And, of course, on the 3 days of the Hamvention, Dayton Hamvention coming up next year, wow, the lines in front of the ICOM booth just to talk to some of the ICOM experts and hopefully get registered and win a prize. It was good. And you know, all of the attendees all have their little color-coded outfits. And there's the Bioenno. He's the only one not in a red shirt, but he's not with Ham Source. He's with the battery. And Kevin can be seen sort of looking around there. But these are the type of great hams that you'll meet at a ham fest. And of course, all the instructors that are there, we did a nice instructor course. And everybody, of course, loves the blazing pickle. When I go QRT, they'll go, I don't remember him, but I do remember the blazing pickle. And that's Daniel and Peter lighting it off for a demonstration to instructors saying, this is not UL approved for demonstrating current, voltage, and amperage. And there's Ray. And like all volunteers, which when Ray is there, he just enjoys going around and seeing what's going. Yeah, he'll meet and he'll talk ICOM. But best of all, he's a real ham that makes things happen. So we encourage all of you to think about Dayton Hamvention 2022. And I've been going for 50 years. God, that was scary. I pulled out some of the very early and some of the very latest Hamvention catalogs and the catalog of events. And so many volunteers do so much. So Dayton Hamvention volunteers, as well as all ham radio convention volunteers that were finally coming out from this horrible last year. And hopefully we'll start being able to rub real elbows, not virtual ones, in coming together as licensed ham radio operators, a fraternity that nothing will get us down. So let's go back to the net. And again, Dayton Hamvention award winners, congratulations.
All right. Going to Don. How you doing, Don?
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you. Good stuff, Gordon. I was just going down memory lane, tripping down memory lane. My first Hamvention was 1999, and I remember I went with a buddy of mine, Steve Calcagno, N5SC. The two of us drove up there together, and that was when they still had the banquet, the awards banquet, and the entertainment that night was Joe Walsh in concert, which was great. Wow. They opened up the arena to general public and sold tickets, so that it was a rock concert, and we were down on the floor. It was great. And then I remember in 2000, it was the last of the banquets. They didn't do them anymore after that, and that was when the Smothers Brothers came in. And I remember them working ham radio into the routine. I believe it was either Tom or Dick, whichever one it was. They were talking about ham radio, and they were actually getting some of the vernacular right. It was talking about working with a full gallon, and it was just the funniest thing. And so many great memories of Hamventions there at Hara, and also the one that I've attended at Greene County. Great fun there. Or maybe have I been to two at Greene County? I think only one. And that picture you got of me, that was working Rare DX on the iPhone. I was talking back home to Dawn that morning before everything opened up. So good stuff. And Dr. T is going to watch the replay. I was just direct messaging with her on Twitter just a moment ago. Congratulations again, Dr. Tamitha Scove, for your Dayton Hamvention Special Achievement Award. Just really great stuff. We don't have her tonight. She's been a little bit under the weather and has had, like I said earlier, just a lot of things going on, both personally and professionally in her life, that she's, you can only do so much. And she's doing as much as she possibly can, and so we wish her the best, and of course send her our congratulations. But we do have the news of the week from Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2265, these are the Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, March 31st, 2021. There's news of interest to microwave operators.
There's good news for hams who enjoy operations on the frequencies between 3.3 and 3.45 gigahertz. Amateur radio operators may continue using this segment of the band indefinitely. The FCC's announcement this month is seen by many, including the ARRL, as an alternative to ham radio's removal from the entire band. It also adds 50 more megahertz than the FCC's original proposal for amateur secondary operations on the band. Meanwhile, auctions seeking commercial 5G buyers have begun for frequencies between 3.45 and 3.55 gigahertz. and amateurs have been told to cease secondary operation in the 3.45 to 3.50 gigahertz band 90 days after public notice is given that the auction has closed and licensing has commenced. The FCC has identified 3.45 gigahertz as the frequency at which the band will be split. Hams will continue to operate in the band's lower frequencies while the FCC reviews whether or not to reallocate that part of the spectrum later.
Newsline anchor Jim Dameron, N8 TMW reporting. Across the pond, the amateur radio license is getting a new look in the UK, and hams there are getting a sneak peek.
Hams in the UK can get a preview of what the new amateur radio license will look like by visiting the website of Ofcom. It's available there in draft form, and comments are being accepted until the 18th of April. The new license will become effective on the 18th of May and contains a number of changes, including details about electromagnetic field exposure compliance. The EMF wording has been somewhat controversial amongst some amateurs who consider its inclusion unnecessary. Ofcom have also opted to delete the reference to the old full reciprocal license that was abolished in 2016. See the printed version of this script at arnewsline.org to find the URL where you can download a PDF of the draft license or to submit your comments. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jeremy Boot, G4NJH.
There's a first for everything, and one group of ham radio operators has decided that it's time for them all to jump into the water, at least figuratively, for their first D-expedition.
This is going to be a summer of firsts for the amateur radio team descending on C6A, Islands on the Air with designator NA048 and FL05, also known as Bimini Island in the Bahamas. According to DJ N4RRR, one of the organizers, it will be a first D-expedition for everyone on the team, which includes some disabled military veterans. DJ said that because the Caribbean island is also a prime tourist destination, some of the hams will be bringing their wives for vacation activities. The hams have applied to use the call sign C6AHA. He said some of their antennas will be positioned to enable Europe, Pacific Islands, and Australia to get C6A in their logs. DJ told Newsline, quote, "We plan to light up C6A for everyone to get it in their logbooks," adding that we hope people will be nice and forgiving with us and let us make the most of this trip, being first-timers receiving pileups. The trip is scheduled for July 14th through the 21st. For Amateur Radio Newsline, I'm Jack Parker, W8ISH.
Another reminder, the nominating period for the 2021 Newsline Bill Pasternak WA6ITF Young Ham of the Year Award is now open. You'll find the nominating form and all information on our website, arnewsline.org. The presentation will take place at the Huntsville Hamfest in August. You'll find more on the Huntsville Hamfest at hamfest.org, and we look forward to seeing you there. And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news for 4 decades and counting at arnewsline.org. With Jim Dameron, N8 TMW, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Jack Parker, W8ISH, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wellbanks, AE5DW 73. We'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. Now, here's the solar update.
And of course,
Dr. Tamitha Scope.
Actually, we do not have Dr. T this week. I also like to thank our corporate sponsors for the Newsline Young Ham of the Year Award. We could not do that without them. They are Yazoo USA and CQ Magazine, CQ Communications, who have been there since just about day one. Heil Sound also, and of course our friends at Radio Waves Antennas. So thank you for that, and we hope to see all of you coming up in August. I'm going to see some of you in Stillwater, Minnesota, via Zoom, coming up on Saturday the 10th. I've been invited to speak at the Stillwater Amateur Radio Association Zoom get-together, and looking forward to that. We're going to talk about a little bit about the history of Amateur Radio Newsline, and we'll get into Ham Nation, and may tell a lie and a couple of truths as well. So looking forward to being up there in Minnesota. First time we've done a Zoom meeting up there in the Minnesota area. So Stillwater Amateur Radio Station, I'm coming. Looking forward to it. Josh?
All right. Well, wow. What a packed show we had today. This has been fantastic. Amanda, you got any questions? I know we still have some of the folks that we've interviewed on. Is there any go backs, anything we want to talk about before we wrap this up?
I more comments really. Gordo, everyone really loved your short shots tonight. Amazing. Again, Val, a totally amazing interview with Angel. I think that he highlights amateur. Too many comments to mention, but he is actually deserving of this award more than most ever. So we're really glad that he's on the list this year. I do have one announcement. Gordo asked us to do this about Bomb Island.
Yes.
And I am not really familiar with it, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit because it seems very interesting.
So
and Gordo, is Gordo still here?
Yeah, Gordo, if you want to talk about that press release,
do you
want to
talk about it?
No, you've got the paperwork, so I'll let you do it. But it's Bomb Island, and that's where they did their practice bombing before the real thing. Go ahead.
Okay, so they basically are going to grab a group of people, and I'm seeing here. I'm reading what you guys are on the screen here, by the way.
This is fascinating though. So it's the practice attempt run for the Doolittle raid that was on Tokyo that was ran off the aircraft carrier. So this is fantastic. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So this is the B-25 bombers. I mean, this is historic. You know, I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but go ahead, Amanda. You can keep going. I'm sorry. I just got really excited.
I'm reading about it too, and you know, I pay attention to a lot of World War II things, and not a lot on the Pacific side. So this is very interesting to me. There's going to be memorabilia, Doolittle Raiders. They're going to be there at the trailer. The movie 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. Now, I saw that in grade school, you guys, grade school. And I cannot remember a lot of it, but I do know that there was actually a lot of radio involved in it. Anyone else? Tune in Tokyo. I know that's.
There was also the movie Pearl Harbor ended with the Doolittle raid. That was the part that they ended with practicing with the B-25s coming off of the aircraft carriers. And the really interesting part about that, for people that know aircraft carriers, there was no steam pusher. That was all under the power of the bomber
catapult
that they took off. No catapult. So they did that all with the power of the engines going off those aircraft carriers. Fantastic.
And
little bit of
full
history.
speed ahead on those full speed ahead on that ship too, in order to get so much wind coming over the wing. Because if you've seen any footage of that, it looks like those bombers are going so freaking slow
and they kind
as
of
they
dip
come off.
when they
and
come
they
off
were
too.
right,
Oh,
exactly.
boy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just amazing to fly bombers off of an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
So the one thing I want to bring to our viewers is there an actual website that they can go to find out more information about this?
Yes,
Josh, was that in the press release?
W4CAE. So I will pull that up right now. Pause. Fill the air while I
we'll talk about nets. We do have the after show nets coming up. We have KC7 FPF going to be on the 40-meter net, 7192, and Steve is on 14268, I believe. So make sure you check those out. Plus D-Star and 14 Charlie. We're going to talk about a little bit more HF there, but go ahead, Josh. Got it?
Yeah, I do. So it's W4CAE, and you can see Bomb Island special event, and there's a nice little card there that tells you what's going on. April 18th, 2021, they'll be basically activating from there the raiders that bombed Japan. Really interesting. So yeah, that's cool. So there will be WinLink Vara peer-to-peer will be on Bomb Island. So that's a fun. I'll definitely try to get in on that. I've been really active with Vara recently, so that'll be fun. That's really cool. Great bringing that forward, Gordon.
What is Vara, Josh?
So Vara is so WinLink is email over HF, and you can use FM and VHF, UHF, but Vara is a special mode within a mode that allows for a faster transfer rate over HF for email. Oh. It works awesome. It's really, really fun to use it too.
Awesome. So before we wrap up the show, Josh and I are going to just wrap here a little bit about Last Man Standing this week. That's crazy.
Well, it sounds like you were crazy. You said you had over 2,800 contacts.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Right.
Jeff and I got 2,800 QSOs. I probably got about I have 1,941 of those QSOs in my log.
Wow.
It was a long time, and I wanted to show a video. This was Jeff operating. This was one of the pileups. So just if you don't mind clicking on it, Josh will show everyone.
Okay.
This is what we heard when you try to call into us.
Got it. Okay,
to
hold
work
on.
us as KA6
Fill the air
LMS
again so I can
server.
pull it
No,
up here,
it's
but-
fine. It was ridiculous. Pileups. They have over 82,000 QSOs now for Last Man Standing special event. Can you believe that? That's like a de-expedition. Of course, mind you, when a de-expedition goes, they go for, I don't know, Val knows more about this, maybe
2
10
weeks,
days.
20 guys.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's 24/7 operations. Now we had like over 40 operators on the air at the same time, but
Well, I see the. Where is the link? I see it
in the doc.
Amanda, where is it? What?
Amanda chat room next door to that.
Yeah, when I
chat
click
with
on that,
Josh.
it doesn't take me to the video.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's too bad. It's
Well,
okay.
If you look at it, I've got a couple things I'm going to say really quick before we wrap up.
Go
If
ahead.
you look at it and you find it, I'll pull it up and then we can wrap with that.
Okay.
I want to mention we'll be doing Discord, the Discord after chat. If you have ham radio questions or anything like that, I'll be hanging out for a little bit. And Discord is our chat room that we use for the Ham Radio Crash Course. It's a 24-hour chat room. It's both a voice chat and a text chat. Consider it like an instant Elmer access type of thing. We've got tons of people that are all skilled in multiple areas and just a big group of people that have fun hanging out. And I want to give a big shout out to my wife. My wife runs hamtactical.com, which is the merch store for the Ham Radio Crash Course. And she made me a shirt, okay, and I'm wearing the shirt. She does not like this shirt, but I love this shirt. So the shirt says resonate, radiate, propagate.
Nice.
So it's
Nice.
That's great.
It's the little
I
play.
love it.
It's the little play of live, laugh, love, but it's resonate, radiate, propagate. And so she made that for me. That was the custom from our podcast. We got an idea for it, and so we turned it into a shirt. I love it.
Nice.
So thank you, honey, for making that. Did you get it, Amanda? And I'll pull it up.
So I changed the link. Let's see if that works.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, we'll scrap it. Not a big deal.
I want to make this work so we can. No, it's
But
kicking
these
me
were-
back. I'm not
Is
seeing
it really? Okay.
Is the file on? I'm on the Dropbox. If the file's there, I can pull it up.
It is. It looks like Jeff hunched over a radio.
I see. I'm looking under recents. Is that?
It should be recent.
I'm not seeing it.
And our audience, when we left the Twit network from Ham Nation on a very quick notice, we thought, oh my gosh, all of our viewers, what are we going to do? And Josh and Ray Novak came forward, and Josh, you have been amazing.
I'm just
Thank
hanging on. I'm just trying. There's a lot going on. I really am trying. I appreciate everybody working through it with us as we make this happen. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been fantastic.
I dropped in another link right next door to the Round the Horn. Let's see if that works. If that doesn't work, we're calling it. We're going QRT.
Now you see how Josh just looks so relaxed. He's got 17
I don't even know how.
on in his head, and he's like, no problem, just look relaxed.
So I think it's because I failed for so long doing live streams when YouTube kicked this off. I'm so used to failing that anything that's not the absolute failures that I was used to is all gravy. I'll take it.
Exactly.
It's good stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all positive. I'm not. Oh wait. Okay. I got. Okay. We're gonna try this again. No, it's kicking me back.
So tell everybody about Ham Radio Crash Course.
You have to share it with him in your Dropbox.
Well,
You
what
have
if I
to
do it?
invite
Okay,
him
let
to
me
share.
do it a different way. Let me see if I can just copy it.
He's totally shared to this ARN.
No, I'm on
dash
it.
HN
I'm on it.
Dropbox, right?
Yeah, I am.
I didn't see it in the Dropbox, but I wasn't sure where to look either.
I don't see
put
the
it in there
MP4
today.
file. I think that's the problem. Is I don't see where to go for it. If it's I could just look at the Dropbox and see the recents, and I don't see it in the MP4 file, the video. I'll
It
answer
was
Gordo's question.
uploaded. Go ahead.
So Ham Radio Crash Course is really just I've been on YouTube since 2006, making videos about the hobbies, things that I'm interested in. And I I daily vlogged for over 600 days. I put out a video of 12 to 20 minutes every day. I did it.
Wow.
And that was my whole life. I even covered the birth of my child, my youngest child, in one of the videos. Thank you, Leia. She knows what I put her through for all this. But most of the videos that I had the most passion for was all my radio videos. So when I got to the point where I was kind of like burnt out from doing daily videos every day, I decided to just focus on the things that I was most passionate about, and it was amateur radio. I spent the most time doing it, and so I turned it into the weekly live stream for the Ham Radio Crash Course, and then I'll post a video once or twice a week that are shorter form videos, just to kind of talk about again what I'm doing in ham radio and what I'm interested in, and that's kind of just. We started that in 2018, and it's been growing like crazy, and everybody watching, I really appreciate it. Obviously, I appreciate everybody in this room right now being involved in bringing that, the Ham Nation over to Ham Radio Crash Course as well. So,
absolutely. And the winners tonight, and I sent you a link directly to your Gmail account.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I'm nothing compared to what these winners were tonight. Really, they're amazing. Really good folks.
Okay.
You got it?
That was the trick.
Very inspiring. Very inspiring bunch.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready now. We can play this. So Amanda, you narrate this for me.
All right, this is just Jeff.
November 9, Juliet Fox 59.
Roger, 59.
Wait for it.
I appreciate the 59. They sound great.
Listen to this wild pileup, you guys.
QRZ, K6 LMS stroke 0.
Oh, wow.
My God.
I can't even.
Oh, get that one.
What is that?
I heard a Zulu.
Yeah, Zulu.
The Alpha Zulu
go.
Kilo, is it Kilo Alpha 3 Oscar Alpha Zulu? Okay, there's a couple in there.
Winner.
KA3 Oscar something.
It was a ridiculous pileup, you guys. All week long.
There we go.
All right, Josh, thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. There's there's multiple Alpha Zulus in that pileup.
Well, here's the trick. Okay, this is like what Jerry does, or like I did when I had the pileup on PG6. You fake it. If it's all white noise, there's so many in there. You just go, who's just the one ending in Delta X-ray? Because there's at least one or two of those in there. Who's the Alpha Bravo?
I've been involved in some of those pileups when we've had the Newsline WA6 ITF special events, like for Bill's birthday and things like that, which we try to do once a year. Yeah, those are fun to be on the tip of the spear, watching all that stuff rush forward. It's like going into warp drive on Star Trek or something. I mean,
it's like going into ludicrous speed on Spaceballs.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It was a blast, but we had a lot of QSOs made this weekend, and KA6 LMS and Last Man Standing is going out QRT, so they're done. But we're gonna miss you, Last Man Standing. Love you guys. Thanks,
it was a
John.
Fantastic event. I think it was great. It was open to any mode that you basically had a radio on.
Yep.
You could talk to somebody, make a contact, which I think is we should try to do more of that. I don't know who needs to get in front of that, but I think that's a thing that brings in the technicians, it brings in the it brings in everybody, and I think I think we need more of that. We need to figure out how to do that.
These multi-modes are really taking off, so it's something that we all are going to have to embrace. We might have to embrace it here on this show, having a multi-mode net instead of just one single one. We'll talk about that later. Anyhow, let's wrap this up because we're at an hour and 45 minutes. So
this is the longest we've ran. So
big show
on my
ever.
This is
ever.
Oh, really?
This is the longest ever.
We'd have to compare.
About ever.
Okay.
Nah.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close. If not ever, it's number 2. Yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff. A lot of jam-packed show tonight.
We're gonna have another multi-mode net on Discord if you want to join me over there. The link is in the description, so feel free to do so if you want to ask some questions or just talk ham radio. We'll be having some fun. And yeah, boy, quick round the horn, everybody. 73s. Thanks so much for watching. Anything to go out on you want to mention before we go?
Gordo here, amateur television all over the country, all over the world. We're going to condense it down to 10 minutes next cast on, 2 weeks from tonight.
Awesome.
Amateur Radio Newsline, don't forget the Young Ham of the Year Award nominating period is now open. All the details on our website, arnewsline.org. And also coming up, for those of you in the Stillwater Amateur Radio Association up in Minnesota, I'll see you guys the morning of April 10th. There you go.
And I've got a couple coming up on April 8th. I'm doing the Algonquin Amateur Radio Club, and that's N1 or November 1 EchoMike.org. I'll be talking about contesting, and then also the Westchester WECA.org. I'm going to be doing them on the 12th. I'll be zooming in for those guys as well, and we'll talk about contesting, and I think follow up on Puerto Rico and things like that. So, yep, trying to
there
keep
you
that
go.
hobby alive.
You're a rock star, Val. And then April 28th, the YL show. So, and I'm really looking forward to getting with Josh's wife, Leia.
She's in the chat. She knows.
Leia,
if we can get her on camera.
We got to get you on, girl. And I don't even know your call sign, so I feel really bad about that.
Boy,
My
I
apologies.
feel bad because I don't even really remember it. So it's KA6NWZ.
Oh, you guys are going to...
What was it?
KA6NWZ.
Okay.
I don't want to have that conversation later on.
That's like forgetting an anniversary.
Yeah. Everybody calm down. I don't know that she remembers it without thinking really hard about it. So I think I'm still okay. All right, so that's going to do it for Ham Nation. Again, remember, resonate, radiate, propagate, and whatever you're doing for the rest of the week. And we'll catch you on... That's right, yeah. And I love the pink shirt, too. I want to get one that is just pink that says ICOM on it.
How did you guys get those? I didn't get one.
Which one? The YL thing for ICOM?
Yes. Yeah.
We know somebody who might be able to get you one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I think so.
Ray, if you sweet talk
I know
Uncle
a guy.
Ray, yeah, sweet talk Uncle Ray, he'll send you one.
So with that said, thank you everybody again. Enjoy the rest of the week. We'll see you on Saturday for the Ham Radio Crash Course live stream. All right, 73.
7-3, y'all.